Hi guys, I just want to talk about a couple things. First of all, I thought about this. Um, there's only two things in this world that can that cannot get a lot of hate more than likely. One is nothing. That means do nothing or be nothing, whatever. And then secondly, is be mainstream. In other words, don't rock the boat. Um, but I do neither of those things. First of all, I don't do nothing, and second of all, I'm not mainstream. I'm a movement, and movements always, therefore, gather hate. So I'm it's all good because I should get hate because I'm a movement. I'm not nothing, and I'm not mainstream. So of course I get hate. Um, and then there's just I was gonna say here. Um, so I wanted to say that, and um, don't forget my official content is on my video section on my YouTube channel, Shirtless Guy, and John from the Champion kind of called me yesterday on an unknown number, so he didn't. I couldn't tell what his number was. Not that I care. Right? Why would I? Right? Um, and he badgered me on the phone. He brought up all these things that he claims against me, and blah 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 blah. Eventually, leading to he basically thinks or wants to censor my whole trip or my whole vibe or my whole identity or my whole role. I'll do that for him. LOL. Anyway, naturally, I'm not ever going back into the Champion. Why would I? I don't. That's fine with me. And anything else? And he was very mean about it too. He wasn't like nice and professional. He was like really like he sounded pissed. you know. Um, anyway, um, yeah. And one more thing about the movement thing. Um, the '60s were a movement, and they were not doing nothing, nor were they mainstream, and they were persecuted for their thing, the free love and love-ins and rock and roll, and now that '60s music and '70s, all that is now mainstream to these gatekeepers of dusty ball religion. Um, they seem to want me to settle for being mainstream as if that's going to make me like the vibe of the '60s. Well, I'm not. I'm doing what they were doing. I'm a movement and making waves, not being nothing and not being mainstream. Um and I'm going to do that regardless of how many hates I get or who hates me. I'm just going to do me. I mean, why would I change for some hater or even haters? So anyway, there's that. And not only that, I'm happy with my movement. I have a good time with it. It's fun, and I get to help other people and give good energy to the world and help the world heal. That sounds good to me. One more final thought quote. I really like the movie Under Siege, 1992, with Tommy Lee Jones and Steven Seagal, and I love Tommy Lee Jones's role as the as uh, let me think of what his name is. Bill Stranix, William Stranix, kind of a crazy dude. And I like what he says about movements. He says, "I miss the '60s, and I think if I'd have been there, the whole thing would have turned out okay." It plays a part great. And then the other guy on the other end of the phone says, "You know what? You can forget it. The movement is dead." And then Tommy Lee Jones says, "Of course it is. The movement moves a certain distance and then it stops." Um, uh, uh, but revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face. I love the way he says that. I mean, you know, in other words, of course, movements come and go, um, and some of them, and the '60s weren't a complete failure because it changed the world. Well, that's all I'm trying to do now, and I'm not. There's no chance that I'm going to try to please the gatekeepers by changing my whole gig and playing dusty balls just what the '60s did, which is now mainstream, which would be not being a movement. And you know, why would I do that? What reason do I have? And not only that, the haters don't, their hate affects them, not me. That's the mystery of it. If you hate somebody, that's on you. That tears you up, not the person you're hating. I'm free. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm healthy and free. All those who hate tear themselves up inside, or um, it turns against them. It only affects them, and not in a positive way. Love you guys. Peace, rock and roll.